somewhere in the Utah desert, there is a piece of land the U.S. government spent $22 million to study. Not a military base, not a weapons facility, a ranch, 512 acres of dry, empty land, where cattle are found, with organs removed with surgical precision, where witnesses describe creatures that shouldn't exist, where trained scientists reported radiation burns after a single afternoon on the property, and where the U.S. government, after years of classified investigation, quietly concluded, something is here, we just don't know what. This is Skinwalker Ranch, and this is the story they never wanted you to piece together. In 1994, Terry Sherman and his family moved to a 512-acre ranch in Utah's Uinta Basin. They were a normal family, cattle ranchers, looking for a quiet life. What they got was something no one has been able to explain since. Within weeks of moving in, their cattle began disappearing, not running away, not stolen by neighbors, found mutilated, organs removed with surgical precision, no blood on the ground, no tracks around the body, as if something had lifted the animal, operated on it, and placed it back down. Then the lights appeared, glowing orbs hovering silently above the ridge at night, moving in ways no aircraft could. And then, something worse. Terry Sherman described a creature the size of a large wolf that he shot at point-blank range multiple times and watched walk away, unharmed. 18 months after moving in, the Sherman family packed everything they owned and fled. They never went back. What happened next is where the story gets strange. A billionaire named Robert Bigelow heard about the Shermans. Not a conspiracy theorist, not a lunatic, a successful aerospace entrepreneur who had built hotels and satellites. He bought the ranch for $200,000 and immediately deployed round-the-clock scientific surveillance, cameras, motion sensors, night vision, research teams. His organization, the National Institute for Discovery Science, sent scientists, engineers, and former military personnel to the property. They witnessed things, too. Glowing orbs that appeared to react to human presence, equipment malfunctions that had no explanation. And in one documented incident, a researcher described watching a structured object emerge from what he called a tunnel of light, hover silently above the field, and vanish without a trace. But here is what Bigelow's own lead researcher admitted afterward. After years of surveillance, they had almost nothing they could prove. The phenomena kept happening, but refused to be captured. This is where the story stops being folklore and becomes documented history. In 2007, the U.S. Senate quietly approved a $22 million black budget program under the Defense Intelligence Agency. Its name, AAWSAP, Advanced Aerospace Weapon System Applications Program, officially created to study unidentified aerial threats, but unofficially, most of its early work was conducted right here, at Skinwalker Ranch. The Pentagon deployed scientists, security teams, and intelligence analysts directly onto the property. They used thermal imaging, radar arrays, and surveillance equipment worth millions of dollars. What they found was never fully declassified, but what leaked out was enough to disturb anyone. Personnel who spent extended time in certain areas of the ranch developed mysterious symptoms afterward. Unexplained skin lesions, severe neurological effects. One investigator reported returning from the ranch unable to account for several hours of his own memory. The program ran until 2012. Then it was quietly shut down. No press release, no public findings, just silence. But why this land specifically? To understand that, you have to go back centuries before any of this happened. The Uinta Basin, the land surrounding the ranch, has been considered cursed by the Ute tribe for generations, not as superstition, as a serious generational warning passed down through time. The Ute believed this land was placed under a dark curse by a neighboring tribe, involving an entity they called the Skinwalker, a shape-shifting being, something that could take the form of any animal, something that could not be killed. And for generations, the Ute warned every outsider who came near, do not build on that land, do not sleep on that land, do not disturb what lives there. The Shermans didn't know. Bigelow's scientists didn't ask. The government didn't care. And every single one of them experienced something they could not explain. In 2016, a real estate developer named Brandon Fugel purchased the ranch. He brought in aerospace engineers, government-connected scientists, and advanced instrumentation worth millions. Investigation after investigation followed. But in recent years, something shifted. A science team confirmed what investigators had been chasing for decades: a stable, repeatable aerial anomaly at a specific set of GPS coordinates that appears consistently, and that nothing has been able to stop. They flooded the area with light. They launched equipment directly into the anomaly zone. They powered down all electronics for days to rule out interference. The anomaly continued, confirmed by passive sensors, witnessed by independent teams stationed away from the ranch, and a phrase that appeared in investigator notes afterward: cannot be closed. Not unexplained, not under investigation. Cannot be closed. Here is what we know for certain. The U.S. government spent $22 million of classified budget on this property. Scientists with military and NASA backgrounds investigated it for years. Personnel reported physical symptoms, burns, neurological effects that are documented in program records. The anomalies are reproducible at specific GPS coordinates. The current owner is a credible businessman, not a conspiracy theorist, and the investigation is still active today. So ask yourself the obvious question: if nothing was there, why is anyone still looking? Governments do not spend classified money on hoaxes. Militaries do not deploy intelligence analysts to empty farms. And scientists do not develop radiation burns from nothing. Something is at Skinwalker Ranch. We just don't know what it is. And that might be the most terrifying answer of all. Somewhere in the Utah desert tonight, cameras are watching, sensors are recording. A team of scientists is waiting. Whatever is happening at Skinwalker Ranch, accident, ancient curse, government cover-up, or something the human mind simply isn't built to understand. It has now been witnessed by farmers, billionaires, military personnel, and the United States government itself, and none of them have been able to explain it. Maybe one day they will, or maybe some doors were never meant to be opened. This is VOIDORA, and the truth is closer than you think.